My name is Ronnie Lopez, and this is Underrated Power Training Q&A. What's up, guys? So we have a question from Chris. He says, I work out 6 days a week and work on my game 5 days a week. I am a line drive hard hitter, but I want more power in my swing to hit the long ball. Okay, so setting aside your hitting mechanics, I have a great answer to improve your exit velocity. We have a 4-step process. Let's get started and look at that right now. So part 4 is improving mobility. Now I know that might not sound exciting, but guess what? If you're trying to hit the ball far, if you want to have as much snap and velocity, having the right mobility is going to help you do just that. Think of a rubber band. If we pull it out so far, the snap isn't going to be as effective. The more I stretch it out, the faster the snap we're going to have. Same thing with our body. Again, our body has elastic properties. We can stretch, and so we need to improve that. As a hitter, we need to improve thoracic mobility, we need to improve lat mobility, pec mobility, shoulder mobility, hip mobility. We need to make sure we address all those things, so let's get into some exercises that does just that. As a rotational athlete, it doesn't get more important than this. Your upper spine's mobility allows you to rotate, and this is going to allow you to generate force and power. So in this exercise, you want to take a seat. You want to make sure your knees are about hip height when you take a seat, and you want to make sure you put something between your legs so you're not compensating and using your lower half. I'm using this stick here on my upper shoulders to make sure that I'm not cheating, rotating one side more than the other. From here, I'm going to turn to one side, swiveling around my spine, making sure I stay tall. You can film yourself from the front and look how far you're rotating in each direction so you can have a good idea of your mobility. You want to do about 5 reps on each side, and hopefully over time, your dedication will show you an improvement in the thoracic rotation you have. Another piece of this mobility puzzle are your lats. If your lats are too tight, you're going to have a harder time creating separation as you bring your hands back when you take your stride. It also impacts your throwing, so yeah, lats are important. To do this, you take a band, you anchor it on a high position, so using a rack is common. You're going to take a step back on the same side, and you're going to rotate your palms up. In this position, you want to bring your head in front of your shoulders and look for a good long stretch from your elbow all the way down to your hips. You might even feel it in front of your hips, in your psoas, and maybe even your quads. You want to hold this stretch for about a minute, maybe even longer, because that's what's going to actually drive change. You want to switch sides, and over time, you're going to start to see more range of motion, and this is going to impact your hitting. The last mobility drill I'm going to present to you is going to address the QL, and we're also going to go over the pancake stretch. The QL is a muscle that runs along your back, and if that's tight, it's been proven to reduce your mobility, your rotation. So you want to make sure that you address this and you get better at this particular stretch. So you're going to get in a seated straddle, and you're going to side bend. One hand is going to reach directly out in front, the other one's going to reach across and towards your toes. Over time, if you do a good job again, you're going to see some improvement in this side bend. Now, the last one is a pancake stretch. You're simply going to stay in that straddle, but you're going to fold over. You're going to reach out directly in front, slowly inching your fingers away from you. Now, the goal is to get as close to the floor as possible, getting that nose down to the ground. But not only are you going to improve on your thoracic rotation, but you're also addressing some hamstrings and some growing. And as a result, you're going to be a more mobile and more explosive athlete. Hey, get your training questions answered for free. Just click the link in the bio.